Thank you for visiting me on YouTube. Ron Paul, the congressman from Texas, the former presidential candidate, has rejected the notion that he will endorse Senator John McCain in the general election. Now, for all those who are watching who are Ron Paul supporters, I bet y'all thrilled to hear that Ron Paul will not endorse either Senator Barack Obama or Senator John McCain in the general election. I want y'all to understand where Ron Paul comes from. He comes from the 14th district in Texas. His style of politics is more libertarian leaning. He believes to put liberty back in our Constitution. He believes that our country is now facing tough challenges at home. He believes that our meddling in foreign affairs has cost us gravely with the reputation of all the world. And Ron Paul, for example, has been more adamantly well liked among military than Senator John McCain. The McCain campaign tried to reach out to the Ron Paul supporters and they were rejected overwhelmingly. Ron Paul was banned from the Republican National Convention in St. Paul, so he decided to hold his own convention over in Minneapolis. Now Ron Paul has decided he's going to endorse either Libertarian Bob Barr or he's going to endorse Independent Ralph Nader. I just want y'all to realize that despite all the things people have said about Ron Paul was one of the best candidates to look out for. He had maintained a heck of a lot of money, more than McCain, more than Giuliani, more than Thompson. I mean, Ron Paul was getting more cash from military than he would get from those who were lobbyists. McCain is running on a lobbyist ticket. Ron Paul is not usually in favor for lobbyists. There may be some who may debunk my facts, but Ron Paul basically told me simple, he was not for lobbyists. The whole thing with Ron Paul is that he believes the Constitution is being soiled by people in big government. He believes that neocons are trying to shape the way of our world. Some of my friends had told me about 9/11 being a conspiracy, seeing today is the anniversary of the 9/11 victims, which I pray for, as well as those who are down in the district that Ron Paul represents because of Hurricane Ike. But I just want y'all to realize that Ron Paul wants to restore America back to the way it was. He was once known as Dr. No. He would never allow a bill to pass through that required a lot of pork barrel spending. He was a physician. He was a pediatrician. He was a psychologist. He's an ordained minister. He's been married to his wife, and he has plenty of children and grandchildren who supported him throughout his whole bid for the White House. I went to Florida to meet him. I was shaking when I saw him because he was one of the best congressmen to ever step foot on stage. Although a lot of people are going to criticize me now because I'm now for Senator Barack Obama, I will never betray the trust of those who supported me during the time I was supporting Ron Paul. But as I told them, I would graciously support the Democratic candidate if Ron Paul was to bow out. Now, I know a lot of people are simply just saying that Ron Paul will continue to rain terror on American politics. Dismiss that. Ron Paul is a good man. We don't want to take advantage of a good man who done all he could to make people listen. The mainstream media ignored him. And it's not fair for the world to be hearing him be dismissed because he had views that the mainstream didn't like to hear. So I just want to say that Ron Paul has rejected the endorsement deal from the McCain campaign. So he urges those who are supporting him to vote either for Bob Barr or Ralph Nader. And of course, I want y'all to realize that this is September 11th. Many of the 9/11 truth movement think that 9/11 was an inside job because of the policies that Bush had made with people in Saudi Arabia. And also the people of the APEX, people of the Heritage Foundation, people who are part of the Rockefeller Foundation. These are people who are trying to shape the way of our world. The Project for a New American Century. This is some of the groups out there that some of my friends had told me about, and they told me to be very cautious about. Very, very cautious. Because even though Senator Barack Obama and Senator John McCain are well liked in the mainstream, the 9/11 truth movement believes that they're just puppets. Puppets of the society that we live in. But once again, you know, this is just who I am. I'm an average guy who wants to vote for change in our economy. I do care about what's going on in our nation, from domestic terrorism to international terrorism to just plain general anything. But I just want y'all to realize the economy hits close to home, being from Ohio, of course. So once again, I want y'all to understand that Ron Paul rejected the endorsement of John McCain. So there you have it. Post your comments at the bottom.